Hello, PIC TV Network fans around the world. This is David Evans, your president of the PIC TV Network. This Black Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to celebrate 4 years, the 4th anniversary. It's going to be great, and we can't wait to see you, our fans and friends from around the world. On social media, you can watch on PIC TV Network Spotlight on our YouTube channel. Also, you can watch PIC TV Network Roku channel 1000. We can't wait to see you 7 p.m. Black Friday at the PIC TV Network 4th anniversary. This is David Evans, your president of the PIC TV Network. We'll see you Black Friday. Love back in the day, Shepherd Street. Shepherd Street was, man, amazing street that we would come to. And you got Nazarene Baptist Church here. New Hampshire Avenue, of course, which is a historical landmark. We love back in the day. We would walk up and down here. Nobody would bother you 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. You could walk up and down New Hampshire Avenue and you would be safe. You know, community was so different. You know, let's see, another historical love back in Taylor Street. Taylor Street was a street where, man, we would often come up here. You had friends and, you know, people who went to school in the area. They would often be in this area, in the section now of meeting people. Upshur Street, of course, this is a great historical spot right here. Love back in the day. People who would go to Roosevelt were all they would literally live up on this area. This was the area. Bonham Place. I mean, all these streets were places that we walked to, you know. We literally walked. If you grew up in Northwest Washington, you know these streets. Webster Street. This is another landmark too, where Greater Mount Calvary was down there. We're gonna take a ride down there. Love back in the day. Webster Street was a historical landmark, you know. Just to be on this ride is just bringing back so many memories, you know, to come and ride down here. Allison Street, oh man, now we're talking about another place of history, another street of history where we would come and walk, you know. Kansas Avenue, you know, all of these were spots in our day that you knew. Buchanan Street. There was no stranger when you say these names of these streets. People who knew the area, grew up in the area. This was home to us. Every street has a story. You know what I'm saying? The Kansas Avenue, the Circle. All of these streets have a story. Illinois Avenue, Sherman Avenue, Sherman Circle. This is Northwest Spots, Crittenden Street. Man, these are the streets that, oh man, when I see this, it brings back Kansas Avenue. It brings back so many memories. You know, Illinois Avenue, right here, folks. This is like, it's like the streets, Decatur Street. Every street has a story. These streets are just places that, if you grew up in Northwest Washington, every street was home. You know, when so love back in the day, it's amazing, man. It takes us back to appreciate where we come from, but also to remember Emerson Street. It's where I met my wife, Yvette Evans. We got a ride up there. This was historic. I mean, I walked up in here in the snow, the rain, the cold. It didn't matter. Love was in the air. You know, all of these streets again bring back memories. Farragut Street. It's moments that will never be forgotten. You riding up, but when you're coming through here and you see Gallatin, oh man, how many times have I walked up Gallatin Street? If you're going to the Carter Burn, if you're coming to see some friends and people, all they had to do is say where they live at, and there was no GPS in our day. There was nobody to tell us Hamilton Street. Oh man, this was another hot street. The school here, many folks who lived up in Hamilton Street was, again, these are family names and traditions and streets that that when I say these streets, Ingram, when I say these streets, it brings back memories. It brings back. We wanted a special presentation called Love Back in the Day. And as we ride down to different areas where I grew up in Washington, D.C., we on 5th Street, Ingraham. Every street has a story. And the story of these streets speak. And they speak life. And I'm talking about the life that I lived and grew up in Northwest Washington. Hamilton Street. Hamilton Street was a street that was so popular. Growing up in Northwest Washington D.C., growing up, walking up and down Hamilton Street was, oh man, a part of my life. You know, Gallatin Street. So many of my friends and people that I knew grew up in the area, and Gallatin Street was a part of our story growing up. Let's talk about Fairmont. Wow. Farragut. Wow. If I had the dollars for the time I walked up and down this street, it would add up to a whole bunch of money. This was a very popular street growing up in the 80s. Farragut Street was so popular. Matter of fact, there was no speed bumps back in our day. We couldn't probably afford this speed bumps. We're gonna go by a special place that's on my list of love back in the day places that I would never forget. All right, so let's go up one block as we still on Farragut Street here, folks. I go up this hill, and the next street that you're gonna see is the street that I met my queen on, right? And that is Emerson Street. My wife used to live right here on Emerson Street. This was a historical place, and I would literally walk up and down the street. I would walk up and down Emerson Street, and one of her best friends who passed away, she lived on this street in the area. So this street is so dear to me. Emerson Street was a street that has so much history. And in this presentation, Love Back in the Day, we got to go down Emerson Street. And as we go down Emerson Street, this hill, and the snow, the cold, the rain, I will walk around here. And that house right there is where I met Queen Yvette Evans. Queen Yvette, right here, 710 Emerson Street. That is a historical place, folks. Right there. I will walk up and down there and see the lady of my life. Love Back in the Day, a special presentation by David Evans. We have to go up and down these streets and remember where we come from. Walking up and down Illinois Avenue, oh man, this was a place that you knew the streets. Because the streets, every street up here has a story. So we got to go to 8th Street. Oh man, this was another place of a life back in our day. 8th Street was so popular. As we go and cruise around here, and we talk about love back in the day, we have to give all of my friends back in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, when we came here, these streets were just so much life. And this is Emerson Street, 9th and Emerson, right here. You know, there's so many stories with these streets right here that we're talking about. Let's turn down here. Mother Edwards. Oh man, so popular. We got to go by Delafield. Oh man, this street has so much history on it right here. One block down is Georgia Avenue. We'll come back up there. Delafield, this street was again a street that we walked up and down. Everybody knew each other. It was a time. Decatur Street was very, very popular. This street right here, folks, 9th and Decatur Street. It was full of history. Love Back in the Day, special presentation here. PIC TV Network original. David Evans is your host today. So let's talk about another historical street that we walked up and down. Crittenden. Crittenden was a street right here that has so much history in it. You would come down Crittenden Street and you knew everybody. You would walk up and down Crittenden Street back in our day in the 70s and 80s, and it was safe. This is what I love about our group of generation. It was just so safe just to walk up and down Crittenden Street. Let's go up to 8th Street. Okay, 8th Street. 8th and Crittenden is where we are right now. As we go up and down this street, this was our landmark too. Notice this hills, and we can appreciate the hills. You know, New Southern Baptist Church. Oh man, had an opportunity to even speak there. Wonderful, great preacher, wonderful, great man of God and ministry there. Wonderful church. New Southern Rock Baptist Church. What a wonderful place. And I saw the church grow too. Now this school wasn't here when we grew up in the 70s and 80s under this name anyway. It was under another name. So it wasn't here that we saw this name. But the history of this place is amazing. Many times we want to go back in time. I'll take you there. This is a special presentation called Love Back in the Day, where we're taking you back in time and showing you the streets that I grew up on. Now a lot of these streets are one way. Used to go up and down 7th Street here, but now it is a one way. You can't go up and down no more. Things have changed. All right, here is a special church too. Back in the day, this place was Petworth. Petworth has changed over the years, of course. Now we have the culture change. It was a very quiet growing up in Petworth back in our day. I have been up and down these streets walking, and we are at Illinois Avenue. Special Love Back in the Day presentation. This is a circle that we have walked around so many times. Petworth, the circle that leads us to this leads us to New Hampshire Avenue, going towards Upshur Street, going down towards 5th Street. This is a special circle, special street, special circle. So if you grew up in Washington, D.C., in Northwest Washington, we had no Ubers, we had no Ubers, we had no GPS. We walked we were on foot patrol. There you go. New Hampshire Avenue, another street, which is a historical street that we grew up on right here, New Hampshire Avenue. We would walk up and down New Hampshire Avenue, and this street was so special to us because it would lead us back to our neighborhood. Love Back in the Day special presentation by David Evans. Hope you're enjoying this presentation from the PIC TV network, folks. We're riding around. This is Upshur Street. Upshur Street has so much history. Because you grew up in Upshur Street, it was special because Upshur Street would take you down towards 13th Street, Roosevelt. It would take you down into the city, and this street was a historical street too. We're on Upshur Street, Northwest Washington, folks. Many people, it brings back memories when you think about how many times we walked up and down Upshur Street. There was a church right there on the corner. We went there. Wow, that was Pastor King's church was right there. And we had another church right around the corner from here. But this street has so much history. This is Upshur Street. Love Back in the Day. The people who went to Roosevelt was on this side. You got the Rough Riders right here, folks. That's where our streets was. And there was a post office right here that many of us went to a whole bunch of times. Also a funeral home, a historical funeral home was right here too. So we got to show you some of these sites. We on Upshur Street, Northwest. Let's make sure I can zoom it in so you guys can appreciate where we. Georgia Avenue. Georgia Avenue is a historical place, historical location. If you grew up in Washington, D.C., in Northwest Washington, Georgia Avenue was another street that you knew the back of your hands. Kansas Avenue, again, Kansas Avenue was another great street that you could go up and down on Kansas Avenue. That's why cars around here. This was, I think it was a Kentucky Fried Chicken back in our day. This place right here was a Kentucky Fried Chicken back in our day. There was also a special place that we would go to the post office right here, and then Marshall's Funeral Home. Wow. Marshall's Funeral Home right there, folks, was so, because Marshall's right there they were family. I did a service there for my cousin Pee Wee and other Marshall. Marshall Funeral Home is a special historical place that we have to talk about in this video. Along with Hortons, of course. Hortons is family. But this street is so important. Varnum Street. Those who remember Varnum Street right there. Walking up and down Varnum Street. There is a history moment that I want to take you guys down memory lane and the history moment of Kansas Avenue. My wife went to school here. There's several schools. There's Roosevelt, Burdick, and there's another elementary school down here. Which is we're on Georgia Avenue, folks. Let's see. Georgia Avenue and Varnum Street. There we go. I want to make sure that's straight. That's good. Love Back in the Day special presentation. This is a place that I always remember. Upshurst Playground. And I was a kid, and I had a bicycle and a basketball, and I was right over there in the court, and one of the older cats took my basketball and took my bicycle right here. I'll never forget, right there on that court. I was playing the ball. He said, "Give me that ball." He took the ball. Then he said, "Give me that bike too." Took my bicycle right there, folks. This is when I was a kid, man. This is Upshurst Street. Back in the day, love back in the day. And I limited my time coming up here after that. I really didn't come up to Upshurst Street that much after that incident. But I still respected everybody. Now this is another school right there. If you can look right here as we go through this presentation, there's a school right there. I think that's Powell. Those who watching, that school has a lot of rich history too. And right behind that, of course, right beside that is Roosevelt. A lot of people, the Roosevelt Rough Riders, we got to give a lot of love out to all the folks who went to Roosevelt. But this school right here has a lot of history to it. A lot of history. You ride down here. It's called Love Back in the Day. It's a presentation by PIC TV Network, David Evans, showing you some historical sites. And all of these streets have a story. The beautiful queen today. Queen, tell us who you are and why you wearing this crown.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Liz Dicker, and I'm your reigning first Miss Senior Black America. And I am also the CEO, founder of my own foundation called Angelic Halo Foundation. We bring awareness to cancer, lupus, diabetes, juvenile diabetes, and domestic violence. And also, we give awards to community leaders.
Well, how can people get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with me at lizd8933@gmail.com, or they can reach me on Angelic Halo Foundation @gmail.com.
Wow, thank you.
And also, I would like to say, please join our pageant world, Miss Black America, which was founded in 1968. We would love to keep this history alive because we are people who are always bringing things to the forefront of Black women being able to be beautiful, intelligent, and also receive the things that other people receive, because we need to be recognized also. So please come out, join us. The seniors, please. This is our history, and this is the history in the making with the senior Miss Black America. So please come out and join us.
Thank you. Everybody, we down here at the National Congressional Black Caucus in Washington, D.C. I am so happy for PIC TV Network connecting with all these businesses. I'm telling you, this is history for us. Look at all these businesses around here that we're connecting with. PIC TV Network is on the move. We have Amazon down here. We have Johnson & Johnson down here, Coca-Cola down here, Delta Airline down here. I mean, it's so many people and businesses, and we are so happy to partnership, network, connect. PIC TV, this is one of our historical moments, and there's no way in the world I would miss the opportunity to bring to you this opportunity to reach the world. PIC TV. Love Back in the Day special presentation. This is a place that I always remember. Upshurst Playground. And I was a kid, and I had a bicycle and a basketball, and I was right over there in the court, and one of the older cats took my basketball and took my bicycle right here. I'll never forget, right there on that court. I was playing the ball. He said, "Give me that ball." I took the ball. Then he said, "Give me that bike too." Took my bicycle right there, folks. This is when I was a kid, man. This is Upshurst Street. Back in the day, love back in the day. And I limited. There are many people who walked up and down 13th Street. Roosevelt was just a great place to come to get education. Think about it. Allison Street, you had schools all around here. You had places of educational institutions all around. So there's a lot of moments right here. Oh man, Jesus. You can tell it's been 40 years, right? At least I can do a layup. It's been a minute, man. Even my hand, I can't even nothing. Now let me get one shot of it. I'm old school right here.
Yeah, put some marker on it.
Oh, you got it, man. I can't even. So McDade was shooting those shots right there. That was me back in the day. Oh man, Jesus. can tell it's been 40 years, right? So McDade was shooting those shots right there. That was me back in the day.
Kevin?
Okay.
Kevin?
Yep.
Kevin? Kevin
Yep.
family, they still there.
Wow.
And around the corner, do you remember Rock?
Yep.
Rock, his mom.
Wow.
Mom still lives around the corner.
Yeah.
But that's about it, right?
I don't know whether he remembers
you,
Pearline.
Yeah. Yeah, all of them.
Well,
Yeah.
Pearline's got the house. She's the only one there.
I remember Mr. Rainey, Miss Rainey, Miss Elizabeth. Right here, Boosie used to stay there.
Yeah.
There was another person, he used to give out the stuff down there during Halloween. He used to give us all the stuff right there. House, I forgot his name. He was the next to you.
Next block?
No, right here on the street.
Next to Vernon?
Yeah, next to
Oh, you
y'all.
talking about, no, that used to be Miss Miles in there.
Miles.
Yeah.
Miss Miles.
Yeah, she passed away too.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
No,
long time
she,
ago.
long time
And
ago, and
Miss,
so did she.
Miss Elizabeth.
Miss Elizabeth,
Wynn,
Miss
Miss
Wynn.
Wynn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Miss-
Yeah.
This is love back in the day, y'all, my neighbors, and we got a lot to look at and a lot to learn. All right, love back in the day, presentation, had a chance to see some of my old neighbors I grew up with, and it felt so good to spend a little time with them. So we got to right up 13th Street. Well, let's make our way down to New Homey, and do some history of one of the neighborhoods I grew up, streets I knew growing up. Kansas Avenue, of course, right here. Here is Spring Road we're on right now, and let's just turn it up here and turn it up a little bit. Give some love out to all the folks on Homey Street. This is with a famous street. My man Kenneth Bundy. Oh man, who else? Dodo. My man Big Mac Ferguson. Got to give a lot of love. Charlie Horse. Homey Place is a special street. Growing up on this street made it. It's a history moment. Love back in the day. Perry Street was a special street right here. You guys watching this presentation, gotta give a love out to all the folks on Perry Street grew up with me. That's Perry Street right there. That's a historical street right here as we do this presentation today. Perry Street, Homey Street. We gotta give a lot of love out to Oldest Place, Greater Tri-Stone Baptist Church, Reverend Barnes. It's where so many times I would come up to this church and oh man, it's so much history here. We gotta also give some love out to where my man Bobby Hicks. There was a little place right here with a church too. But all the folks at New Home Baptist Church, every Sunday this place was lit up like a Christmas tree. New Home Baptist Church on this street, it was hard to get a parking space because you had one of the greatest preachers of all times coming and preaching on Sunday mornings. And New Home Baptist Church, where's the church at now? I was like, where's the church? I know it was, okay, here we should be right here. That gotta be it. That was where New Home was. That's where the world famous Bobby Hicks would preach on Sunday mornings right there. This was New Home Baptist Church back in the day. Love back in the day. And this place was rocking. I'm telling them about rocking hard. We was having church in there so much, man, and Bobby would preach and people would come and be blessed, and the community all knew each other. Knew. This is a Newton Street. This is a historical street right here. Oh man, in history. I walked up and down these streets, had a lot of people who, man, the love that was shown on Newton Street down here was amazing. 14th Street. This used to be the Giant. Right here, it was a food store. Giant food store. Used to be Cavaliers right here. This is 14th Street, folks. Back in our day, Meridian, I would walk up and down these streets so many times. 14th Street was like, I wore out shoes walking up and down here. I literally wore out shoes walking up and down 14th Street. Used to get my hair cut. My sister Edie used to live right there, Cavalier. This was the UPL building back in the day. Right there, United Planning House, UPL. Right there. This is Greater Tri-Stone. This church was rocking and popping. I'm talking about Reverend Barnes would preach. Rest in peace, my father-in-law, Trustee Edwards, who was a trustee here. Every Sunday, this church was rocking. Greater Tri-Stone Baptist Church here, love back in the day. A lot of love go out to all the people who helped raise me up. Mother Walker with the Kool-Aid. Oh man, Johnny. Rest in peace. A lot of folks, man, came through here. In this church, I spoke in there. I had a service for my nephew here, my homegoing service. Family members take place here. Greater Tri-Stone Baptist Church. This is a special historical location, moment. Love back in the day. We are on Otis Place, folks. This is a historical moment with this presentation, Love Back in the Day. I'm gonna give a shout out to everybody watching. Also to Carolyn James, the James family. This was beautiful things took place. All right, we gotta go back down. Let's see where we're gonna go next. Let's go down and come back up. Okay, Homey Place, okay. Homey was a special street that you had to come down Homey Street because, again, there was people who lived here who knew each other. We were family. Parkwood. Remember Parkwood? Parkwood, another special street back in our day. That lamppost been there a long time, guys. Look at that light. It's a long time. Love, back in the day. Presentation, PIC TV Network original. David Evans, your host. All right, let's roll around some more. Shout out to all the people who do law enforcement, man, to do their best to keep the community safe. Shout out to everybody. All right, Spring Road. Again, this is my street, my street I grew up on, my street that I walked down a million times going home. My mother would get off the 14th Street bus and walk home, and I would just go running after my mom, seeing my mom come home on this street was an amazing moment. Amazing, special moment. It was a place called St. Anne's Cathedral, Mother Dear. That was one of the first churches I went to as a kid. I'm talking about 10, 11 years old. Right here, it was a church, a small church. And we would come together and have services there. Ring Road. My street. My home. My neighborhood. My community. Right here. This is where I came. This is where I grew up at. The school that I went to as an elementary school, my class was right there. Well, before they upgraded. This was the elementary school I went to, Raymond Elementary. Hopefully I can go back there and do a presentation on where I am today. Who was my principal back in my day? That was in 1975. Not Mr. Sparrow. I remember my elementary coach, Mr. Huff. But this was the school that I went to, Raymond Elementary School. Miss Brown, I know her class was there. Miss Eaton, I never forget Miss Eaton because she kept me back. That's where I got my education right here, Raymond Elementary. This was my first place of education. Right there, folks. Rock Creek Church Road. The history of this street is amazing, man. A little street with a lot of history. This street, I would walk down this street and I remember people who helped, man, people I grew up with. Thursday was here. And everybody's name was Mr. and Mrs. Man, it was Mr. Jordan. Yeah. Right here, Mr. Jordan was there. The family I grew up with, the Jordan family, and then the Jenkins family. This street has so much history on it. Rest in peace, the folks who have gone on, that I grew up with. Oh man, let's see where it is. Oldest place is over there. Let's go around the corner. Love Back in the Day, presentation by David Evans. We're on New Hampshire Avenue now. This street has so much history because I would walk to church. Now, we're also talking about me and Big Sim. This is the church that we grew up in, called Park Road Community Church. And the late, great Reverend Burton, right here. This is where we grew up. This is where we sing in the gospel stars together, me and Big Sim. When I always talk about Sim back in our day, this was our home church. We walked up and down those steps so many times. We had holes in our shoes. Park Road Community Church. That was the church that we grew up. 1019 Park Road. Reverend Burton, Reverend Dave. We walked through those doors so many times. I wish I could get out and we'll come back on the next go around. But this is the street that I look at history. Next stop. Shout out to Cardoza. It's my high school right there. 1981, I walked out that school. Department of Education. Diploma. This is where I came from. This is the school on the hill. This is where I gotta give a lot of love out to all my classmates who rock with me all the time. This is my high school. Love Back in the Day. That's the school I went to every day, walked to school. Gotta give a lot of love out to my homies back in that day. My man Stan Richards, gotta give a lot of love out to you, man. My man Mitch Cradle, Mike Cradle, Big Mike, Big Rick who passed away. Love you. All the love that I have back in the day. My former high school principal, Mr. Waverly Jones. Rest in peace, Mr. Jones. Thank you. You know, this is where it all started when I was in high school, 1981. Then I come back here as the president of a television network, and I had to do this presentation. Hey, how you doing? Love back in the day. And now I'm seeing where I come from. I feel so good. A couple of people like Mr. O'Leary, who definitely played an impact. And my teachers, Miss Jefferson, I remember 1981. Want to give a shout out to the band, my sister Darlene, all the band leaders back in the day who helped us to be where we are today. I never appreciated this view till now. Look at this. You can look and see all over the city, man. That beautiful view out there. Look at that view. Somebody's biting.
Dog fight.
Look at this view. Like the Dozer Field right there. It's amazing. Our school has grown so much, man. The field. This is another view of the city. Look at Cadoza now. It just looks. Our school is different from any school in the world. Cadoza High School, my school. Love back in the day. Look at that view. Where else can you get that other than Cadoza? It's my high school. Shout out to everybody watching right now. Shout out to everybody watching right now. Cadoza High School here. We're doing a special presentation today on PIC TV Network called Love Back in the Day. As we go back in time, we see where it wasn't nothing but love. Everybody knew each other. The love was there, flowing. And we miss it. And it's here we are at the Big C. It's the place to be, right there, Cadoza. Yeah, let's keep it going. This is where I came from. Cadoza High School. The day I walked up and down this street, when the bell rang, man, I want to give a lot of love out again to my principal back in the day, Mr. Waverly Jones, gave me my first job. My first job was right here, right in the school, in 7th period, man. I would come there at 2:30, get in there and work right in that little room, put my feet up, act like I know what I was doing as a file clerk. I was only 18 years old. Man, my first job, I remember my first check, Mr. Waverly Jones, rest in peace. Gave me my first job right here at Cadoza High School. It's my school forever. Hopefully we'll come in and do a presentation. I would love to come and do a speech there on my success story. My new book release coming out. But that's the school that helped shape me to be where I am today. That's where I used to go to the doctor, right? Dr. Randall was right there. Any ailment we had, Dr. Randall was there to fix it. Anything go wrong. Lamont Street. Still smells something good up here. Keeper Street. World famous Kenyon Street. It's my sister Elaine used to live up here. Kenyon Street is a historical location. We're getting ready to go into the land of Howard University in a few minutes. Special place. Irving Street. Oh man, this is another great place. When I used to work on my summer jobs, and one of my summer jobs, I was working here at Lincoln Congregational Church, and I was working with the kids. I was working in the daycare center. Ms. Gripper, thank you for those years. 10th Street Baptist Church is another place of history in our timeline. Love back in the day. Shaw Junior High School was an amazing place. The band had a nice band. Want to give a lot of love out to the folks down here. AP Shaw, amazing. So next stop is 9th and O Street. This was where my good friend Simeon Korn was so faithful down through the years, and also Bishop C.L. Long, rest in peace. Pennsylvania Avenue. One of the most beautiful things about coming to downtown DC, this has not changed. You can always come, and you can come and see one of the most beautiful sights you ever want to see right here. That is the Capitol, United States of America. That's it right there, folks. I love back in the day. Now, it used to be open back in the day. You could ride right through on both sides. I remember that. My mother, Esther Evans, was working at the Navy Yard, and my father used to pick her up, and we used to ride right through the Capitol every day, right through the Capitol area, and pick Mom up. The other beautiful thing about it, you can turn around and you can look directly at the monument. This is another beautiful sight that if you ever come to Washington, D.C., love back in the day. That site is amazing. One side, you're looking at the monument behind me. We're panning it around, you're looking at the Capitol. Independence Avenue. Building HUD. Spent 12 years of my life there working. Been in every floor, met up 3,000 people there. Man, one of my best jobs I ever had, working at HUD for 12 years. Shout out to a lot of people who've gone on, who work with me. Renee Davis, rest in peace. And that's the place I worked for 12 years. Been on every floor in that building. Walked up in there so many times, the rain, the sleet, the snow, the cold. Met over 3,000 people in there. Shout out to all the people who, I met in the HUD for the 12 years I was there. Man, some of those who have gone on, George, Sneed, Miss Pauline, Miss Davis, rest in peace. These people will work with me. It's my place of employment right there. It's HUD, United States Housing and Urban Development. I've been there in the rain, the sleet, the snow, the cold. Man, shout out to all the folks at HUD. Oh man, Jesus. You can tell it's been 40 years, right? So McDade was shooting those shots right there.